With Rise of the Beasts finally out and me still desperately trying to ride that algorithm high while receiving nothing but punishment for it, I think it's time that I finally do my roast of Beast Wars. Some people thought I was never going to do this, that I would be unwilling. This is my sacred cow after all, my favorite show of all time. But you guys voted for it last time, and the thing is, I'm a fucking monster, and there is nothing that is sacred to me. Let's murder my favorite characters. But first, your likes! Please give. And if you enjoy this video by the end and you aren't subscribed already, please consider it. We are just going to do the first forms of the Season 1 characters this time. And I can't think of any better place to start than my favorite character of all time in anything ever. Dinobot. Look here, you leather-faced old man. I know that for some reason when people hit their 60s or 70s, they all seem to want to become nudists. But I don't care. Put your dick back in your little Speedo and ditch your ooh-woo ears. You can be a furry or a scaly. Pick one. You don't get to be both. That'd be too much cringe for one person. And honestly, you're already pushing that to the limit there. Shadow the Hedgehog but covered in bones so you can be even edgier. How often do you need to get reconstructive surgery for your tongue, considering your filed to dagger's teeth are pointing inwards at it? Maybe that's why your throat sounds so messed up. You are constantly gargling the blood pouring out of your mouth. What a genius you must be to have done that to yourself. Let me guess, you also installed your eye lasers yourself, and that's why they're loose so you can never hit anything with them. Because there are only two excuses for that. They shift in your eyes every time you look at anything so they never hit the same place twice, or your eyesight is so diminished by age that all you are ever doing is firing at a blur through your cataracts. Now get your sagging jowls out of my face so I can attack a harder target. Oh, Primal, how much plastic surgery did you take? You got them dick-sucking lips. But the fact that they aren't defined at all just makes me think you had one of those surgeries that caused your face to explode. And that's why you wear the mask. You should have just gone with a full mouth guard all the time, and probably the visor too, because looking at none of your face would be an improvement. But who knows? Maybe I'm just being cruel to someone who's deathly allergic to monkey fur, because your fingers look like sausages from all the swelling they are constantly suffering. And I hate to make the edgy the hedgy comparison 2 times in a row, but boy, that's what the Optimus Prime analog really needed to look like. Black and red, loaded down with guns and using thrusters to get around. Did you inspire Shadow the Hedgehog? With that, you may have done more damage to the world than anyone else. Cheetor. I don't know if I could roast you hard enough to hurt you more than you will hurt yourself just standing there, but I wanted you to know. It's all downhill from here. This is the best you will ever look. In about a year's time, you are going to take a face full of radiation, and it will never be the same again. And just when you become the ugliest you think you could ever be, you will get back to Cybertron, and the reconstructive surgery you have will go so wrong, it will haunt the nightmares of people for decades to come. And by the year 2023, you will just get rid of your face entirely rather than continue to live with the consequences of all that's about to happen to you. Some of your friends will die, and they will have had it better than you. Rhinox. Nice fuckboy mohawk, dude. That and the chin strap do a great job making you look like the bongo player in an all-white reggae band. The kind who say shit like they're true Jamaicans in spirit despite never having been to the island because they just love weed so much. I can't tell if you tattooed yourself green because you love the sticky icky that bad, or if you're one of those people who's done so much pot in their life that they have physically become it. The kind of person who even while still stone sober because they smoked every bowl they had yesterday and it's all worn off by now, just walks up to you at your job and goes, "Hey man, do you have like bike tires?" "Sir, this is a Wendy's." "Bummer. Are you sure that you don't have like any in the back or something?" "Sir, this is a Wendy's." "Bummer. Can I get a Big Mac?" "Sir, this is a Wendy's." "Bummer." But being that high all the time would explain your attitude, the full-on body bags under your eyes, and why you think you're some kind of spiritual guru. Speaking of guru, did you drink all the Energon? How did you get so fat? Does it creep anyone else out that his teeth form a fucking circle? Yeah, sorry, you won't be able to unsee that now. The catastrophic damage you would do to your own head by taking a punch to the face because you thought it was a good idea to glue a bunch of daggers to a plank strapped to your back would probably leave you less impaired by the blood loss and brain damage than how high you constantly look like you are. Tigatron. Boy, what a lack of confidence and low self-esteem you must suffer. To be like, I know how I'll make myself seem great. I'll copy the lamest dude and just do everything better than him. And look, while you can crawl over the bar that Cheetor limboed under, it doesn't make you seem special, it just makes you so desperate. Cheetor with a mustache who lifts slightly heavier weights is still just Cheetor. And you have the success rate to back up your claim to that cringe cat's cretinous throne. Honestly, you get bodied harder than Cheetor more often. And unlike Cheetor, you fucking died from it. So really, all you have to distinguish yourself from that failure is the fact that you act like less of a stooge. But just as before, a quiet Cheetor is still just Cheetor. Air Razor. Jesus Christ, girl, is that a pack-a-day voice or a carton-a-day one? Your lungs sound more fucked up than what the Vok do to you and Tigatron, which is probably just about half as fucked up as your face. You look like you skinned someone and wore it like an ill-fitting mask. Apparently, that person didn't have a nose because you can see yours pressing against it from the inside, but who knows? Going by the size of your eyes, that couldn't have been anyone's face before. Maybe it's their gluteus maximus that you cut slits in. It would explain why you were uncanny like a grab-away puking out a human face. Rat Trap, you buck-toothed jackass. Were you really so concerned that people would call you stupid that you put your brain on the outside of your skull so people could see that you had one? Because let me tell you, you doing that makes me really disbelieve my eyes. Or maybe you did it because you thought it might cushion your skull if you ever fell on it. Gotta pad out each part of you to insulate it from a fall. And we already know that your ass is protected, because please don't turn around. I've seen your cheeks before, and I don't want to ever again. And maybe you too are just a nudist, but my real assumption as to why you go around like that is, maybe it's just that those ass implants you got for maximum comfort in recovering from landing on them can't fit into pants anymore. Perhaps that's what happened to Airazor's face too. She didn't skin someone, she just got bad plastic surgery to tighten it. I mean, she does sound like she's as old as Dinobot looks. So she got a facelift that went wrong just like Optimus. Oh my god, bad plastic surgery would explain Tigatron's swollen upper lip too. Did all the Maximals get bad back alley plastic surgery? Is that what separates them from the Predacons? Because let me tell you, Dinobot may be a nudist, but with the exception of his teeth, he's all natural. Though let me be clear, the separation is bad plastic surgery, not plastic surgery, because looking at Black Arachnia, Jesus Christ, girl, I know you got it. Put some of it away. You are making everyone else self-conscious and they are making bad life decisions for it. I'm pretty sure that everyone who watched Beast Wars over the age of 12 hit puberty the second you first transformed, regardless if they missed the episode or were blind. And female. I've called others nudists so far, but I sincerely have to ask, how did you get away with this? Fully clothed, you would look indecent. Normally, when people are like, oh man, that's a sexy robot, I'm like, dude, that's a square made out of metal painted pink. But I ain't looking at a robot this time. That is a naked woman. However, she probably shouldn't have spent all her money on her tits, because those Kirkenberg arms are a real mood killer that I'd have chosen to get fixed first. Do not look that up. You will not be happy that you did. You will regret it, and you will never look at the character design the same way again. Remember the last time this happened? Trust me. Tarantulas. Look, I don't know what I can say about you, since I already mentioned your arms when talking about Black Arachnia, without getting too vulgar about your face. And I suspect that if I mentioned that you're the only other fat character on this show, your response would be, yeah, I eat people. They're kind of fattening. And honestly, any insult I could come up with, you'd probably take as a compliment, because you are quite literally the biggest freak in all of Transformers. I think you might be the only Cybertronian who is canonically a pervert outside of the Bay movies, so I'm just gonna move on before you start getting off to being talked down to. Terrorsaur. Nice synthol injections, bro. You sure don't look like a 120-pound twink with fake muscles. But to be fair, it's better than anything the Maximals got. I feel like you're trying too hard to one-up Starscream, and it's so desperate, it's what's causing you to be rejected. It must burn you up that no matter how hard you tried, the yaoi fangirls never embraced you like they did Screamer. But why would they, when everything you do is just a bad impression of him? Dope-ass pylons, wimp-ass pylons. Unless you count the cannons, but then you're just trying way too hard. Shitty snotty voice that also sounds like it has a lung collapsed. Wing cape, but only in beast mode. Mach 2.5, Mach 0, and you're so small. Compared to the Chad Starscream, you will only ever look like the roided-out toddler imitating his big brother that you are. You reek of desperation. Waspinator, it's time for you to get your just desserts. Here's a lollipop. Go have a wonderful day, scamp. Inferno. No notes. Rock on, you glorious psychopath. Scorponok. Hey there, pelican hands. Congrats on being a little smarter than the spiders. Like, what a terrible claw hands, but also steam shovel is at least a little bit of an improvement. But from there, you just crash and burn. Like, what is with the pickle helm and the soul patch, dude? Do you fancy yourself a biker or something? Cause let me tell you, you are only ever riding bitch. And if you ever tried, you'd probably just make the driver wind up crashing. Not because of anything like the tail of the frog and the scorpion, but simply because you are such an idiot that you'd probably find a way to fall under the bike wheels from on top of it. But I guess that would be in your nature. And you know, other Cybertronians may be fatter than you, but no one is as flabby. You got enough rolls for a Thanksgiving banquet. Plus, I can't tell if there's a scorpion tail behind your back, or that's just a really nasty log you've never managed to fully pinch out. Alright, Megatron. There is so much low-hanging fruit I'm going to have to avoid like landmines. But I do at least have to hand it to you and your men. The plastic surgery you all got was impeccable. I mean, where do I sign up? Because I need good dental, and you get it for such a primo rate that you had them install teeth into your collarbone just to give them more to do. And your hand. You know, the Maximals may have the market cornered on bad back alley doctors, but at least they weren't willing to take them up on every upsale they tried to make.
Really? You can chop off all our hands and replace them with useless claws? Do go on.
Maybe that's why you lost to the Beast Wars. Not because you couldn't come up with master plans, but because your grip on what would help you achieve those goals was as tenuous as anything you try to hold with those pincers. Nice go-go boots and purple color scheme, by the way. You look like you stole the costume from a knockoff female Power Ranger out of a bad parody Sentai. You must have been desperate to get any clothes at all because you didn't want to be part of the nudist colony you accidentally founded. And I could hammer you so much more, but Season 2 and 3 will get their due eventually, and I need to save some ammo for that future episode. And that's not half what I have to say, but it's enough of what I have to say. And I know you know what everyone else tells you to do at the end of these videos. So if you liked what you saw here, please do that. And if you'd like to take it a step further, then please share this video with any friend you think may be interested. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me waste your time.